In this last devotional about biblical characters that do the same thing that we do sometimes, is that we get distracted off of loving Jesus and our eyes off of Jesus, and we start to fall into sin. Um, Matthew was he was looked at like the same way. I mean, he was a tax collector, so most people didn't like him because he was a Jew who was taxing Jews for the Roman government. So he looked like a traitor, basically. And there were a lot of cases where the tax collectors would actually overtax and then they would keep the overages. I'm not saying that Matthew did that, but a lot of people who were tax collectors did. And then Jesus comes along and he actually makes him one of the 12 disciples. So somebody who's learning right under Jesus. And Matthew ended up writing the first book of the New Testament, and it described all of Jesus' life through birth to his ministry to his crucifixion and then to his resurrection. And that's just really cool that God used somebody who seemed to be on the outskirts of society. And he would be one that if he was stealing money, he would be falling away from Jesus, sorry, into greed. And but God doesn't see that stuff, and Jesus doesn't see that stuff either. He sees people that he created, and he sees people that he wants to be his children. Now, does he want us to fall into sin? No, because there's consequences for sin, and it hurts. It hurts him as our Father when we choose those things, because no parent wants to see a child fall, and it's out of our love for God that we obey. It's not because of obligation. It's not because I want to do the Christian life right. It's out of love, and that's why we are in this life and trying to avoid those paths of sin. Now you're going to fall down some of them at some point, um, because we are human beings and we are sinful. But God again doesn't see that stuff. He sees you as somebody that He wants to wants to restore, and He wants to have you as His child. So God is always on your side, and it's out of our love that we obey Him. So thank you guys for listening, and we're going to start on tomorrow, which is Wednesday. We're going to start a series that is just about God's character and who He is. So thank you guys for listening.